So today we have Lee Scott from 99 Social. We work with Lee quite a bit amongst a number of members of his team over there at 99 Social. And today we just kind of wanted to go back over the product again. Couple of reasons. One, first and foremost, it's a fantastic product. We have a number of clients on this product already, and we really feel like more of our clients need to be on this social media management platform. It's a tremendous product. What 99 Social does for the client when it comes to their social media is just fantastic. They take a lot of that tedious, time-consuming, just the energy. There's a lot of energy and a lot of time that has to go into social media, especially when you're out there trying to market your business. And it takes a lot of time, and it needs to be done right. And we've found out in short order, working with 99 Social, they take that time and the kind of that heartache out of the business owner having to worry about getting good content and getting it up there often. It needs to be there all the time. So they do a really, really great job. And we've changed some of our packages recently, and I'll show that on my screen a little bit later. I won't jump to that quite yet, to really kind of focus on 99 Social and really feature them in some of our packages. We really just kind of felt like 99 Social wasn't getting enough love, and we know how great of a product it is, and it does just a wonderful job for the client. So anyways, with all of that being said, we have Lee Scott with us today, so he's going to be going over 99 Social. We'll get into some details. We'll open up for some questions in a little bit. So Lee, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and hand the mic over to you, and you can take it from here.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks a lot for the intro, Jeremy. It's always a pleasure speaking with you. I want to thank everyone for taking time out of their busy days here to join us on the call today. And what we're going to do is we're going to not only break down what it is that we do here at $99 Social, but we're going to talk a little bit more about who we are, why we came to this decision. We're going to talk about why even look at social media, why is it important, and we'll hit on some key points. So I'm really hoping that folks on the call today will get some real solid takeaways. First, again, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Lee Scott, and for those of you don't know me, and I know a lot of folks on the call may know me already, just from my experience. I've been in the digital marketing arena since 2003, kind of on a part-time basis. I owned another business. It was finance-based, and it was one of these things where traditional marketing just really wasn't working like it used to. So what we started to do is we looked at, well, we have people who we ran a sales organization inside the finance company. So we had to figure out how to generate leads for our staff members, the people that are on salary who are getting paid bonuses and commissions and things of that nature. So I started to really dig into digital media, digital marketing, and I just kind of got addicted to it. And I got to tell you that being involved in sales for as long as I have, been doing this for 25 years now. I went to school initially to be an architect. I had no idea that I would be doing anything of this nature. Of course, when I was in college, the internet was it was a fledgling, so it wasn't anything like it is now. But I really started to fall in love with it, and I've always been very entrepreneurial minded. So the digital marketing aspect, it just really opens up a lot of other doors and exposure, because you literally have the way to target an audience like never before. Ever before. Traditional marketing was a lot of referrals, networking that you would do. We did a lot of print mail, which we kind of all know what happened to that. Depending on where you live, locations, it is still effective, but almost everybody uses the internet for any time that they're looking for literally any sort of information. So that's something that is permanent. It's never, ever, ever going to go away. So when I started getting involved in this, I realized that it was just a massive opportunity. So I dug into it and just went full bore with it. So I was able to sell my company in the finance, and I got into just doing digital marketing by itself as a standalone. I met a gentleman who owned a couple patents that were based around some technology sales, and he asked me if I wanted to come work with him and build a sales team, which we did. It was focused on real estate, real estate lead generation and mortgage lead generation, which is what I was doing before. I was involved in mortgage finance and real estate sales, which again, it's the most competitive industry in the world, bar none. There's nothing that's even close to it as far as competitiveness and the cost of doing business. I know that the larger aggregate portal organizations that we were going up against, that would be, your Trulias, your Zillows, your Realtor.coms, they spend over $10 billion in pay-per-click advertising, not including SEO, not including website development. So it's just a massive, massive funnel of aggregate portals pushing all this money on the net. So how does a little guy survive? Well, you have to be hyper niche or super niche. That's really focusing, dialing into your areas. And it's the same thing with social media as well. Now, prior to me coming here at $99 Social, which for those of you that don't know, I'm the director here of our retail, resale, and strategic and affiliate partnership programs. And I've been here for 3 years as a director. I can tell you that when I first came over here, I was used to selling things that cost, $2,500 a month on up. I was working with Tony Robbins. I was a senior tech advisor in his SEO and SEM division for a couple of years prior to coming here. Now, I know a lot of folks are going to go, well, why would you ever leave? Well, Tony discontinued selling those products. And long story short, those of you that are familiar with the inner workings of SEO and Google pay-per-click, at the end of the day, SEO is free, but not truly, because you have to learn how to do it. At the end of the day, they want you to buy ads. And that's the same thing that we're going through right now with Facebook. So the algorithms were changed from the search engines, and the products just weren't working anymore. And for those of you who have ever been involved in any one of Tony's organizations before, you know that he just does not accept any type of failure. There was something that's out of his control. He doesn't own Google. I'm sure that he would love to just call Google and said, hey, listen, you guys can't do that because you're kind of screwing up our product offerings here. But it is what it is, and I ended up coming over to social media as well. SEO has been kind of slowly being phased out because of social media for a couple reasons. One, it is easy to use. It's extremely easy to use. I know that everyone on this call has went to the search engines and I've typed something in, and you literally still cannot find what you're looking for. No matter how hard you try, the information that's populating is not relevant to what it is that you're looking for, and that's simply because they did not SEO their sites correctly enough. Now, with social media, people are interacting with other folks. They're getting referrals. They're doing things that are easier, and it's an application, and it picks up wherever you're at. So it knows wherever you're going continuously all the time. You can check into places. You can tag other people. So it's just a much easier use of the applications when it comes to anything that's digital oriented. So with that, let's just go ahead and dive into this a little bit more and really kind of peel some of the layers back here. So let's start with a simple question. Why is social media so important, besides the reasons that we mentioned already? Social media sites and blogs. So if you guys aren't familiar with blogs are unique, specific content that's generated either by a user or from a team of writers or one writer. But they're professional writers, and the blog it constitutes 500 words or more of some type of web-related content, whether it be an article, it could be news, anything that has 500 words or more that's not copied, shared, or recycled. Now, with social media sites and blogs, those reach 90% of all active U.S. internet users. An interesting statistic on this is that 80% of these are all from mobile devices. Yes, that's correct. Mobile devices. Their smartphones have really changed the whole world. and again, they're not going away. I think they're starting to reach some of the technology little points, which is why you're starting to see a lot of watches now. And I don't know if people remember the big rave a few years ago was the Google glasses that kind of had like a screen in them. It was very much like a Star Trek. I think the guy's name was Geordi, if I'm not mistaken. But they're starting to run out of that. But anyways, so 80% of all traffic is via mobile devices, which to me is just still staggering. Now, this is the statistic that at first I didn't believe, and then I did a lot of cross-referencing and cross-checking, and I soon discovered on my own research, just with my own clients, 70% of all referrals currently right now are via social media. Now, and you think to yourself, well, how does that part of it work? So people who are big Facebook users, there are typically groups of area organizations that you can belong to. So I live in Scottsdale, Arizona. So there's the Scottsdale, Arizona Chamber of Commerce. There are Scottsdale Buy and Sell Group. There's a Cave Creek Bulletin Board. You know, all these suburbs have all their neighborhoods. The one where I live in is called Desert Ridge. The Desert Ridge has its own marketplace and referral source. So in the old days, when someone would move in town or out of town, or someone would retire, let's just say that, you know, I went to a barber and he retired and I'm looking for another referral source. So what I do now is I go on to, but these folks too, they go onto these bulletin boards and they just say, hey, I'm looking for this. You know, maybe it's a plumber, maybe it's a hairstylist, maybe it's a restaurant recommendation. You know, golf out here is a real big industry. So people who are coming into town, they want referrals on, well, where should I go that's affordable? Or what's the nicest course? Or where can I go to get training? Who has the best driving range? All these little nuances that people would usually have over conversations face-to-face, they now have via these group boards on social media. So in the old days, again, it would be, oh, just call my friend Bob. He's a great plumber. Well, now I'm like, well, who is this Bob person? So now what you can do is you can literally take Bob's Facebook page, Bob's Plumbing, Cave Creek, Arizona, and then you drop it into there, and then now they can click on that, and they can see how his reviews look. They can actually post and reply on comments. So it's a lot more interactive than it ever has been in the past, which is why you're seeing that large surge of the referrals on social media being as high as they are. So that's something that a lot of businesses, they overlook that, and they truly undervalue it. And that's a little bit where we come into play too, but we'll get into that in just a second. So just some quick statistics here. Currently, now I pulled these a little earlier this week, actually on Sunday, which is yesterday, I should say, just talking about the amount of people on these networks. Facebook, 2 billion users, 2 billion. That is just a staggering amount of people. You think about it. Instagram, also 700 million users plus, 700 plus. Twitter, 300 million users currently. If you guys haven't done any research or aren't engaged in Twitter and Instagram, you are seriously missing the boat. Instagram is supposed to be larger than Facebook at some point. They're still going through the algorithms to adjust it. But for those of you who are active in social media, you'll know that Instagram is owned by Facebook. So Facebook owns Instagram. Twitter used to be a very large hub, but it's kind of starting to kind of die off a little bit because the way that their algorithms are set with their limited engagement of tweets, what's called when you post on Twitter, it's called tweeting, and then you can do a retweet, which is basically sharing another user's information. It seems to be that with Twitter, they have this weird algorithm where if they don't have X amount of activity between the users, then they just automatically drop them off the account. Which, as you can imagine on Facebook, if Facebook just started removing your friends off of there, you'd probably be, not the happiest person in the world. So that's what Twitter does. But we have some products that kind of counteract that, so you can still keep that live engagement going and adding more followers. So let's talk real quick about the benefits of outsourcing social media. Why do it? Why outsource it? We've already talked about why it's important. We've talked about the ease of use. We've talked about the amount of folks who are engaged on it, how it works. So let's talk about the benefits of actually outsourcing it. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar or are very strategically structured around social media, the first thing that you're going to notice when you try to do it yourself on a, not even a large scale, but even a small scale, it's extremely time consuming. It's very, very, very time consuming. So you can literally save hundreds and hundreds of hours on social media that benefits not only you, but your team, and if you've got clients as well. It's just very, again, ease of use with it. When we have our clients come on, they fill out a profile questionnaire that's going to ask about, the business, the product, the service, the value proposition, what type of content to create, certain types of content to avoid. And then we assign that to one of our US-based content writers, and they start creating content so it looks organic, so it looks natural. So the whole point of this is if you're going to outsource social media, really anything of that matter, it needs to look like it's organic, that it's accurate, that it's not a third party that's actually doing the postings themselves. That diminishes the value of your post, the content that's being created, and your audience base is going to be less likely to interact with you on those pages for those postings. So that is one of the biggest reasons that people outsource, is just the time-saving part of it. The other is 90% of businesses, they post incorrectly on the social media networks. They literally have issues with how to post. It's very similar, like I mentioned, to SEO, where there's all these different algorithms. You've got to have X amount of content on a page. You've got to have certain amount of backlinks, and then it gets funneled through a process called page authority and domain authority. I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of tech talk on that side of it, but it literally comes down to these businesses, they don't know that they're posting wrong. They don't understand that there's all these different algorithms that go into way a post is supposed to be structured. Now, with us, what's nice is all the content is unique, specific, and relevant to that particular page. It's not shared, copied, or recycled. And if I've got any SEO guys on there, you know the value of that right out of the gate, because it has to do with something called data server indexation. So it will, everything on the internet is housed inside of data servers, right? So that's where the spiders go and they reference the information. That's what it knows what and how to populate things on a page. Well, years ago, they stopped giving credit if you did any type of copying or recycled any of the content. So that's gone now. So on any of the networks in digital marketing, I don't care which one it is, you get zero credit if you copy and paste or share a link that's not related, zero, which it can be extremely harmful. So I mentioned that we're located in the Phoenix area. So HVAC is a real big business here because we have huge swings in weather. It can be 30 degrees, and then it can be 125 degrees. So people's furnaces and just the ACs get really beat up out here. Same thing with pest control. It's a real big business, booming business out here. We have the worst things on the planet, rattlesnakes. We got, Africanized honeybees. We got the worst, in my opinion, is scorpions, because you can't even see those things. So pest control is another one. So even if we had 20 different HVAC companies and 50 different pesticide companies, every single post on every single page, every single day on every single one of those businesses is unique and specific. That comes with a sentence or two of unique and specific content, trending hashtags, or you or your client has hashtags that they want to implement. That's fine too. We can certainly work with that. They always come with an image. All come with images. They also all come with a link back. Now, link backs are important because there's a thing for people who are familiar with link building. They want your post to have a lot of relevancy to them, so you want to attach other things. So we can shorten up a link to reference industry-related news. We can do blog articles if you have a blog section on your website that we can reference once or twice a week. And we can help you create those blogs too. We do have products that we offer that do that. We can get those in a set of 4, or we can get those individually, just depending on how much you want to push out that content. Or if you like, we can also link back to a Spotify page, an Etsy page, an Amazon page, an eBay page, your own website, if you've got an e-commerce-based website. So I'll give you a story here. So I had this client of mine. He was in Australia, and he comes to me and he's like, "Hey, Lee, I need help. I want to get my product out. I just launched my business, and I'm kind of having a little rough go around here. And I'm like, well, what do you do? He goes, well, I sell T-shirts. I'm like, okay, that's pretty broad specifically. And he's like, well, surfing's a big thing out here. So I wanted to sell surf style type T-shirts that are, relevant to the area that I'm in and other places that are close to where we go, like different beaches and things of that nature. So I asked him, like, well, how were you selling them previously? And he said, well, just kind of hanging around surfing, and then, I would just sell T-shirts when I go out to places. And he goes, it started kind of getting busy, and then I thought the best thing to do is just take it online. So he created an Amazon page, Etsy page, Spotify page, and he was having some difficulty pushing traffic. So I suggested to him, hey, let's use some Facebook ads, right? That way we can, with Facebook ads, unlike AdWords or search engine PPC that pops up, you can see when you type in certain keywords, you'll have like the first 3 spots that are paid ads that you click on that, in most cases, they're just targeting specific keywords. With Facebook and LinkedIn, you don't target words, you actually target people. So it makes a lot better use of your ad budget when you can target someone that has already shown some type of interest versus a word. So with a word, if let's just say you typed in homes for sale in Scottsdale, Arizona, or 3-bedroom condo for rent in this place. So it really goes in and hones in more on the actual audience itself. So that would be the person that's going to be more apt. So how does that work? So we look at an audience group, and then we go, okay, well, Facebook can sort out, this person has a bunch of photos of him out surfing. Is he a customer? He could be. Where does he live? Australia. Awesome. Okay. Has he bought other products online that are surfboard related? The surf wax, T-shirts, those body gloves that they wear, anything like that. So now we have the ability to actually target a person. So what we would do is we target them, and then we literally push the traffic to his checkout page. So once the person clicks on the shirt, it would then take him over to a page where he can select all different types of shirts and all different types of colors. And he went from struggling to an absolute massive success in less than 45 days, which anything online that you can accomplish that much in that amount of time is a great measure of success. But again, it goes to the quality of the people that you're targeting. So the targeting mechanism that we use, we can sort by position. We can even sort by income level, gender. I mean, just everything you can think of. So these are just other tools that you have at your disposal. It's literally money just sitting there that most people don't understand, and they're missing the boat on it. And a lot of that comes with how to post correctly on the social media networks. Now, it would take you years and years and years and years and years to try to figure all that out, but that's why you have us. Like, there's an old joke that we used to make in the tech industry when I first started kind of getting involved with it. It's almost because it's constantly a moving target. So it's almost like playing darts in a dimly lit room, and you don't even know if you're actually hitting the board or not, right? So what we're able to do is we're able to brighten it up. We're able to shorten the distance between your dart throws and on the dartboard. I'm sure that everybody would like to have a little bit of an advantage, especially when it comes to anything online, and we can certainly help you with that. So you have the ability to offer social media services to these businesses. We make it very simple, very affordable for you, and very effective as well. So what I want to do now is I want to go into some ways to target or help target some businesses that really succeed more so than others. Now, I believe that every business needs an online presence. I had a guy who ran a distillery, and he just thought that and I hear this all the time, oh, my customers don't use Facebook. And I'm like, that's not true. It's just not true. Oh, my customers, they don't use, I'm like, no, they're on there. You just don't know they're on there because you're not seeing them. You don't understand how to target them. You don't know how to interact with them. And when you do, you usually do it incorrectly. So some of the industries that I would be a little bit wary of taking on are anything that's kind of manufacturing related. It's just not really the best
fit for social media. Not to say that doesn't work. We have one customer. I'm sure you guys have all seen outside of like gas stations or convenience stores, drugstores too. They have those concrete pillars by the windows, so a car won't come crashing through them. This guy, he actually makes those concrete pillars, and he's done very well with this, believe it or not. He's very active. I didn't know that there was, such an industry like that, but, he goes into areas that are underdeveloped or some that are just starting to gain a lot of traction, and he solicits them, the owners of the other companies, because you can see where people work on Facebook. So he just targets, specific industries that he knows would use his services, people who own different stores. So he'll go, well, this guy's opening up, a new restaurant here, and it's more of a restaurant that caters to, more like fast food dining. It's open 24 hours a day. Well, that might be a good, customer to target. So anyways, I'm just giving you these examples about things that you can look for. So let's talk about who succeeds on social media. Online businesses, web developers, design firms, marketing companies, tech startups. These are literally everywhere because, like I mentioned before, it's constantly a moving target. So this type of industry, web dev, design, marketing, and digital marketing companies, graphic designers, they're not going away. The internet's not going anywhere. So these people are always going to be a good source of referrals and even customers themselves. So don't ever discount something that you don't understand just because you assume too quickly. Just never do that. Retail businesses. Now this is an easy one. Anything where there's lots of social media users, clothing stores, bike shops, bookstores, health food shops, e-commerce stores, like I mentioned before, is another really good one. Service-based industries, contractors, salons, tailors, personal assistants, coaches, auto shops, moving companies, restaurants. What I have found is that if you're in a service-related industry and you have to have it something that's brick and mortar, you generally are better off with social media than other industries because if you think about it, the web is not going to come to your house and cut your hair. You have to go somewhere for that. Your mechanic, your car breaks down. What do? You Google it, or you go to social media, you ask for a reference. Again, you got to take your car there. So service, same thing with restaurants. Service-related type industries like that seem to be the most successful because people are seeking them out and they literally have to go to them. So having more visibility and more exposure, anything that's digital related to those types of industries is literally a must-have. It's not something that they can skimp over. They have to have it. So those are easier ones to target, which if you're starting out fresh, those would be the first one that I hit, just because they are easier just in general. Now, a couple of things that I don't sell on the retail side anymore. I haven't for a couple of years, but when I did, one of the things that I would do is I would offer them a free evaluation. There's a site out there. It's called Likealyzer, and it's just like it sounds, Likealyzer. Now with Likealyzer, and just so you know, it's L-I-K-E, like, and then A-L-Y-Z-E-R. Likealyzer.com. This will give you a rating of the strength of your Facebook page and also point out the weaknesses of the Facebook page. Now, I used to use this with my customers when I would go over sales demonstrations about social media with them. So first thing I would do is I'd pull up Likealyzer, I'd print off all the strong points, and then I'd print off all the weak points. And then I would just leave that with them or email that to them. So then when I talk to them again, we can really start to drill down on what they need to focus on and why it's important. It shows you what goes on. Hey, you need more engagement. Your engagement is just off the floor. It's in the floor right now. Oh, hey, your events are not up to speed. You need more events. So there's just all these little things that you can kind of help mold them around to make them more successful with their particular strategy and their campaigns as well. Another thing is offering. Yes, sir.
Hey, I just wanted to, when you finished that thought, I wanted to pause for a moment and just see if we had any questions. And then also there are a couple of things that I wanted to throw into. But go ahead and finish.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm actually coming to the end of this here, so just give me one more minute here. So offering realistic options to gain more traffic. Outreach programs are key, which is when we get into that targeting. The ads. Now, here at $99 Social, we don't have any monthly contract. Everything's month to month. On our daily posting platforms, we start at $99 a month. We've got a 14-day money-back guarantee on those as well. Now, if you're reselling the products, one of the things that I always recommend doing is offering pricing structures with contracts, a 12-month, a 6-month, a 3-month, and then you can stagger out the cost depending. Also, we don't charge setup fees here. That's also something that you could pass on to your clients if that's something that you needed to do or wanted to do, but it's totally up to you. We're just here to try to ensure your success. We also offer for resellers, we also offer monthly, weekly reports where you can literally print off a report and it will show you penetration rate, engagement cycle, how many likes, shares, follows, comments that they got on those posts. And then what you can do is start to analyze them and go, okay, so here we had a post of, a salad, and here we have a dog, and here we have a baby. It had a certain kind of content, and we got more engagement off of that. So what you want to do is come back to your assigned account rep and say, hey, we want, or maybe on this day, oh, sorry, you guys still there?
Yep, we're here.
Hear me?
I thought it sounded like we lost you for a second, but
okay,
I can
sorry,
hear you.
I had another call come in. Sorry, I had another call come in and cut me off there. Sorry about that. Okay, so just getting us feedback on what you're seeing with the amount of engagement that you're getting is extremely key. So, yeah, with that, Jeremy, do you want to go ahead and add some comments, and we'll take some questions as well?
Yeah, just a couple things. I mean, first off, I want to see if we have any questions out there at this point. So I'll just kind of pause for a second, see if we have any questions. You guys can put those in chat as well.
The $99 is the that's just the sign-up price.
So there.
Right. So we've got two different options. Yeah. Sorry. Let me interject here. Okay. So for daily posting, so our daily posting platform, it's $99 a month, and what you get with that, if you want to use, you get unique specific content posted once a day on 3 networks of your choice. So Facebook is always standard. Then you can get Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, or Google+. So you get 2 others of those. Daily postings, no contract, 14-day money-back guarantee on those as well. Now, as a reseller, there's a different structure with that, but we can get into that in another conversation. I don't want to give you too much of an overload here today, but yeah, that's something that we're running specials on as well. But just $99 to have consistent, relevant posting posted on those networks 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
So, okay, so I see whatever it is, the core plan, the growth plan, or the enterprise plan, you have the monthly that's over to the right, but the startup price or the social retail price, what does that mean? Social?
Yeah, those are some of the larger. Yeah, those are some of the larger plans. So just for the daily, it's a lowered amount, but then on those come with a little bit more. They're a little bit more, I guess. They just got more to them. Robust is the word I'm looking for. They're just a little bit more robust. So the content, the growth, and the enterprise.
And we have a little bit special pricing as well.
If someone wanted the top of the line, it's the enterprise, correct?
Right, correct. $497.
Okay, and so the monthly is $499 retail. And if you're an Agora representative, it's $470 a month for you and $499 a month for the customer.
Let me jump in. Let me jump in here really quick on this one, Lee. Is this Lisa?
It is.
Okay, I saw your name here. Nice to meet you, by the way, Lisa. I'm Sister Jeremy.
Likewise.
So so right now Agora has 3 special offerings with 99 Social. So they have 3 plans. You have the core plan, the growth plan, the enterprise plan. Let me scroll down a little bit more on my screen here. So first of all, it's month to month. It's no contract, as I'm sure you can see that on my screen. So the retail price is $99 a month for core, $299 for growth, and $499 for enterprise. Agora's pricing, which you see in blue, we have about a 5% discount that we worked out with them. So We offer it actually for $94 instead of $99. Instead of $299, we are offering it for $280, and then instead of $499, it's $470. Everything you see on that little infographic there, as far as what's included, that's all correct. And I just wanted to make sure you understood that we do have a little bit of a discount offering, as opposed to what 99 Social offers it just kind of to their normal clients.
Okay.
So does that make sense?
It does. If I were retailing it myself, I still get that discount, or so that I can have. Is there a slight markup for me on the monthly, or no?
So this is what we offer it from the Agora marketplace. So if your client or you was interested in any one of these plans, this is the price that you would pay through Agora Advantage, either 94, okay, 280, or 470.
Okay, I get that part. I was just trying to find out, is there a spread in there for the Agora representative?
There is commissions built into that. Yeah, that's here on the commission tab. So that's what we sell it for, and then there still is commission paid out monthly, because this is a monthly, obviously, service. So this would be a residual commission on any one of those plans.
I think I missed this part because I jumped in a little late on the call, so I apologize.
Yeah, we actually hadn't really talked about commissions or anything yet, so that's all right here on the commissions tab. And I'm more than happy to talk with you a little bit more offline if you'd like about this. I'm not sure whose team you're on, but I'm more than happy to have another call. And by all means, ask all the questions that you have. That's what this call's for.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That answered my question.
Okay, good deal. And then Andy, let's see. Andy, you want to go ahead and just ask your questions there to Lee?
Sure. How you doing, Lee?
Hey, doing well. How are you?
Good. I love this, what you've done here. Okay, my first question was, what would you recommend as an essential or significant marketing material to either email to a prospect or give to a prospect from what we have on our site? And maybe Jeremy can add into that too, but I haven't gone through it, like page by page yet. So I was just looking for a quick thing to looking for in the marketing tools part of it.
Yeah, that's a great question, Andy.
Hey, Jeremy. Yeah, no worries. So I don't know because I haven't seen the back-end systems over on that side, so I don't know how to answer that question. However, I do have marketing material that I can supply. Jeremy, do you have that or not?
No, actually we don't have much marketing material as far as handouts, flyers, pre-written emails, scripts, anything like that. So if you have some things like that, please send that over. I think we'd asked before in the past and maybe it just was being revised or something. But, yeah, we don't have it, so I'd love to store that and house that here in the marketplace so that Andy can use it. Anybody else?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. As soon as we jump off the call, I'll email you over all the information that I've got, so you can put that on that site so folks can download that when they need it.
So basically, I could go, what you've if you've made the sales calls. Obviously, restaurants are good. Like you said, service-related businesses, right?
Yeah. Like I said, I don't sell retail. I haven't sold retail for quite a while now, just because we had massive growth. And we promoted someone else up inside to take over those duties. And now currently I only focus on resellers and affiliate partnerships. So, which, believe me, keeps me plenty busy over here. But I can tell you that the information that's provided, the material that we give you, it's all derived off of my experience selling this firsthand. So it isn't like it's a theory or a thought process. I'm not trying to sound braggadocious by any means when I say this, but reality is reality. I literally have sold thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of our services all over the world for the last 3 years, more than all of our resellers combined, very, very easily. So the information that you get in there is literally based off of my experience from doing cold calls, to doing email campaigns, to doing literally on-the-ground, door-to-door marketing, cold calls on the phone, cold calls in person, follow-up email sequences. So you're getting everything that you need to go out there and be successful. It's just a matter of, your desire.
Okay.
Believe it or not, it's really not that hard to sell because everyone knows that they need it. It's just, for a business owner or someone who's involved in a salon, they always try to take the easy way out. And, you want to stay away from the larger corporations because a lot of that stuff they do in-house. I can tell you that Discount Tire they've got like 800 stores all over the country, and I'm personal friends with the second person there. Like when I say the second person, I mean he was literally the second person hired there ever. His name's Mike, great guy. So, I go to their Discount Tire website, and all the content is all the same on all the pages. It's zero relevance. So, it's like when you start seeing that, you're just like going, man, you're paying, some person $80,000 a year and they can't do anything right. I mean, pay me $500 a month and I'll take care of all this for you for each location. So it's just one of those things once you start to identify. Are you familiar? I don't know where you're located, but there's a restaurant. It's a franchise called Mellow Mushroom. They do, homemade organic pizzas. So I used to go in there and watch football games. So I got to know the owner a couple times. And then I started looking at it, one day I'm just sitting there working and I start talking social media with him. And, he signs up one restaurant. Then he signs up 4. Now I have 18 of them. So it's just, once you just got to talk to the right people and approach it the correct way. It sells itself. It really does.
Right. So how about like a restaurant owner that even a franchisable place that way? Because Dunkin'.
Yeah. In this case, it was. Yeah, in this case, it was.
People that own either 1 or 2, or they might own 10 of them. So
right.
And they can decide.
Yeah, exactly.
I also was wondering if you did anything if you ever had any experience with, I had several listed up there, Mike, like handymen, home improvement people, or bookkeeping.
Yes.
Insurance agencies.
Yes, I've done. I have. Okay, so just the ones that stick out in my memory. I have a background in real estate, so I was very connected with insurance. So I've done a lot of coaches, personal coaches, insurance agents. Insurance is not really kind of a sexy industry, so to speak. It's not something that people really want to react to. But real estate agents is a really, really good one. Really, really good one. There's a guy that I work with that does social media, and he literally has 3,200 agents. 3,200 that he does social media for. That's another one. When we were talking earlier, I'm not sure where you jumped on, but we're getting into that hyper niche or super niche market, and that's really appeals to realtors because they all want to be branded in and around the areas that they focus on. Right. So realtors, it's really easy to get them on board because they can truly appreciate and understand who they're trying to target. They're trying to target people who are trying to move into a certain area, which on Facebook is extremely easy to do.
Right. Very, very easy to do.
And the issue is most real estate agents, they're not the most successful. I think 80% of them make $28,000 a year is the last statistic that I saw. So you want to try to go with the ones who have some type of a budget or already active in social media. There's a client of mine. His name's Carl. He was a client of mine. Oh man, since I think 2011 or 12. So he and I worked together for a long, long time. So one of the things that I recommended him to do was do videos of the houses hidden out front of the house, rain or shine. Snow or no snow, get out there and make a video of yourself, pop it on YouTube, give me the link, we'll put the MLS listing on there, we'll backlink it over to your video, and then we'll target people with that ad. And he's been hugely successful. He was actually the #1 realtor in the county that he lived in the last 3 years in a row. Now, I don't want to say that was directly indicative of what we did for him on social media, but I can tell you it didn't hurt. It certainly didn't hurt his image.
That's a great idea. But my question related to realty is then, what if they're part of a larger realtor organization?
If they're like a Keller Williams agent, something like that, is that kind of what you're asking, Andy?
Are
Sure.
those people handling this kind of stuff for them, or is the realtor doing it by himself?
No, they're on their own. It's their own business. In a lot of cases, they have someone in house that does it, but all the content is generic. So can you imagine? Okay, so let's just say that you and I are in a real estate office together. Keller Williams is the largest one, so I think they've got a little over 80,000 agents. So it's not uncommon for them to have an agency, a brokerage of 100 agents or more. And then let's just say that let's just take Phoenix for example. I mean, how many Keller Williams offices are there here? Probably 50 or more, all with 100 agencies. So you're talking 5, 6, 8, maybe 1,000 agents, and they've got one person doing social media for all of them. Guess what? It's all the same content. Right. One or two people can't come up with that amount of content. So how would you feel if you and I are working in the same office? Jeremy's in there too, and then we've got 80 other people, and then they do social media for us, and we find out it's all the same stuff. Like every post is the same. I mean, you wouldn't be too happy about that. So that's usually what I run into when I see realtors. Yeah. So realtors are a great target audience, but hopefully that answers your question. That's what I've seen with my experience anyway.
That does, because I have several realtor friends, and I was wondering, could I approach them and say, hey, we could make you guys stand out, through this service.
Well, I can tell you when I used to sell real estate websites, it's really the same approach for real estate social media. These agents, they want to focus on an area and they want to get exposure. And a lot of them say, well, I want to post my listings on here, which a lot of them do that. That's fine. You see probably more of that than anything else. But my thought process was, well, why wouldn't you want to advertise other people's listings? I mean, if you're on a buyer side of it, you're still going to get your 3% if you're represented correctly. And if you're on the seller side, if I had a house for sale, I would contact every single realtor that I had as a friend, and I would ask them if I could post my listing on their social media pages.
Right.
So we can do that. So it's just a matter of, I'm like, why they're so like short-sighted. It boggles my mind.
Okay.
Yeah, one thing I just kind of wanted to throw in there, Andy, which is more or less what Lee's saying here, is it's uniqueness, right? You got to kind of stand out. When he gave the analogy of me, you, and him all working at the same real estate agency, if they're posting social media for the three of us and 100 other people, it's all the same. Really, at that point, how are you standing out? So one important thing that you get, that any client who is on $99 Social gets, says right there, custom tailored content. It's custom content. It's not just copy and paste, that you're getting the same content that the next guy is getting, in the next town over. It's unique for that individual, so that you actually have some uniqueness and you can stand out, right? And you stand out amongst the competition. So with that being said, and we talked about niche there a little bit. Steve, you actually had a question. Steve is an advisor, has been with us for a very long time. One of his clients, or our clients, is actually on 99 Social right now. They're an author. So Steve, go ahead. You want to just ask your question really quick, and then I know Jean has a couple of questions, so I want to get to her questions as well.
Yeah, this is Steve. We just put an author as a niche author on the program of a book. It's kind of a outside the box kind of a thing here, and I just wondered if you had any gut feel comments to make on something like that.
I've dealt with some authors before. One of them was three now that I can think of it. So one was doing children's books. That again, anything that's related of something of that nature, I always under all circumstances, always recommending doing targeted ads. So those are going to be a lot more traffic driven. So as long as you're combining the daily postings in with some type of an outreach program, depending on the type of books that they are, they can do really, really well. So I had one lady who had children's books. I had another that did it was mind focusing around for martial artists. So and the other one that I had was she wrote romance novels. Do you want to guess which two worked the best?
What one?
not the romance novel. The kids books and the martial art one did extremely well, but they still need like an outreach program. And the reason I say they need that is just so you know, and this is something that a lot of people don't understand, which again comes down to the education piece of it, is that the algorithms that are set for page views on already liked members of those pages is set at right around 2%. So that means if a page following has 100 people and they're posting every single day, or we're posting every single day, roughly only 2 people are actually seeing those posts. This is why it's extremely important to have Facebook ad campaigns so you can reach out to those other 98 people and also target new folks in so they can see your posts more frequently, because it's all about being active and being relevant. So that's just one of those things, like we were talking earlier about SEO and Google pay-per-click, that technically it is free, but it's still a significant amount of work. At the end of the day, because they're like a website, you can get a website for free. You can get a business page for free on the social media network. They want you to pay them to be seen. And fortunate as that is just the world that we live in. So outreach programs for any industry that you're involved in are extremely critical. Now, I know the $99 a month, don't get me wrong, it's great. It's content, though. We cannot control the amount of people who see it. Only the networks can do that. So the outreach programs are always key.
And they're on the growth plan, which means they have they are getting Facebook ads, so that's good. Yep.
Yeah. Good. See if you can get them to raise their budget. That's always a good idea.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, that sounds
sure thing.
Sound good, and I'm glad that you elaborated on that, because that's a real life client that actually just started doing the growth plan a week or so ago. So they're well on their way, and they have Facebook ads and all that. So good. And then
the Facebook ads, but I believe that I haven't confirmed that the social 99 Social's doing those posts yet, or doing the Facebook advertising and LinkedIn advertising. But I assume that that's being set up if it hasn't already been done.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah.
You can confirm that later, Jerry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have another
All right, good.
question.
Thank you.
I know you. This is really quick. I know you said you had someone else that needed.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So go ahead.
But it's kind of coming from the last gentleman's question where he asked about realtors. Did I hear you say that this is not really for insurance agents, or no?
No, it is. It's for any industry. I have a lot of insurance clients, a lot of financial planners. What I was saying that insurance is just not nearly, I guess, as in the world of social media, because it's more kind of like, glamour and glitz and photos, and it's just insurance is not as sexy as like, a hair salon, so to speak. But we have a lot of insurance agents and financial planners, mortgage brokers, mortgage originators that do business with us. That's definitely service-based, but, most of those people, they get their business, off of referrals. But like we mentioned earlier, when we were talking, 70% of all referrals are coming via social media. So it's still important. People don't search for it as much, but it's a great way to reference someone if they've got an active page.
Oh, okay, because that was my next question. If a person has no social media presence, which one of these packages would be best for him or her?
Well, I know this is going to sound a little bit salesy, but to be honest with you, all of them. They need every one. And again, not to get too tech heavy, but it comes down to indexation of the data server. So, and again, I have people say it all the time. They're going, well, my customers don't use LinkedIn, or they don't. That's just simply not true. They don't see them on them. They're not looking for them. But if you can imagine, let's just say that you're having a party, right, and then your neighbor's having a party. And the only way that they can find your house is by using the internet or social media to find you. Now, one house, let's just say your house, has only one road that goes in that's dirt and gravel. Let's just call that, one of the networks. And then your other neighbor, let's just say you post once a month on there. That's what you have for people to get in. Then the other house, it has paved roads, red carpets, and that's all the networks combined that are posting constantly. Well, those people are going to be more apt to go where?
to that house because it's just simply easier to find and easier to get into and easier to access information.
Mm-hmm. So
the short answer is all of them.
Okay. All of them meaning the enterprise level because that it encompasses the growth and the core plan, correct?
Everything. It has every single product that we have. Now, I can tell you also, too, with the enterprise plan, our growth plan is our most our best selling plan, and then the enterprise is right behind it, and then the daily plan. People like the growth plan because it gives them a good starter point, a good buffer, and they start to see results off of it. Now, the enterprise, you can buy all of our products a la carte. So with the enterprise plan, if you a la carte that out, there is a $300 monthly savings on that price that you're getting. So you can mark that up significantly if you wanted to. You know, I've got a reseller in the UK. He sells that for $19.99 a month, and he sells a lot of them.
Mm. Okay.
All you've got to do is just go do some. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
I was just going to ask one last question. If they don't have these platforms currently set up, do they set them up first and then they come to us, or?
Good question. I'm glad you asked that. So there's a couple things. So either they can set them up, you can set them up, or we can set them up. We charge $49 to set those up per each network, just one-time charge.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something that we would have to, and I think Vince is on the phone too, so he might have some thought on that too. We don't currently have that as an option. Right now we have the plans, because what we found is most of our clients at this point, they have the platforms, right? The Facebook pages are already there, you know, on most occasions, LinkedIn and Twitter and things like that, and Google Plus. They're already existing. It's not that most people don't have the platforms or Facebook account or a page set up. It's just that they don't really know how to stand out, right? How to make the content relevant and regularly the content showing up. You know, just to kind of get them noticed on the busy social media world that we live in.
Well, I know that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I do know that you guys offer a lot more. And, Jeremy, we should look at that list of other things they offer. And I've been thinking about that, too, and bringing some of the other things in there. Like if someone wants to do massive Twitter growth or they want to expand their budget on Facebook ads, things like that. I know you guys do that. So, Jeremy, we can work on that, okay?
Yeah, I'd like to do that. That sounds good. Lee, can I work with you a little bit more on that offline?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or maybe Dragan, I'm not sure, or maybe both of you. But, okay, good. All right, Gene, and then you had a couple of questions. I know we're right at about that hour mark. We're going to go a little bit over on that call, and that's fine because we've had some really good questions, and I appreciate all of them. We've been talking about some good info. So, Gene, go ahead.
Real quick, we're talking about real estate, and usually when people talk about real estate, they talk about agents in cities. What about small community? How successful will it do for you in a small community?
Well, it's still going to be the same. You're going to be limited by your exposure, obviously, but it's always the same principle. You know, Facebook, for a realtor, the very first thing they want to do is they want to get involved in any type of Facebook groups that are on their current location. Like I was mentioning before, like I live in Scottsdale, Scottsdale Chamber of Commerce, Scottsdale Group of Realtors, Scottsdale Board of Realty, all the different communities that are in Scottsdale, Grayhawk, you got Silverleaf, you know, you've got DC Marketplace, DC Ranch. Every one of those communities, they almost always have boards that they post in. So the realtors, we can post on their behalf on those boards. So that way, even if it's a small community, it doesn't really matter because it works the same way. Obviously, they're not going to be getting as many hits just because it's based on volume, but location really doesn't change the methodology that we use.
Understand. And that's kind of the answer I expected. That's fine. So my second question then would be, I have a client on the growth plan right now, but I don't think we're doing anything on, you know, we're just doing Facebook. So, you know, there's the option for G+ posts because we're not going to do LinkedIn or Pinterest. So how do I know if that's functioning or how do I get it set up?
Right. So did you come on board as well, number one, do you know who your account rep is that you're assigned to? Is it Dragan or Kyle or Nicole?
I've talked to both Dragon and Kyle.
Okay, yeah, so those would be your point of contact for that, to kind of dig that down and see if you can adjust those services or what they're doing. I don't really work on that on the support side of it. I just work on kind of the front end side like this. So for specifics like that, yeah, I unfortunately don't have a lot of details to give you, but kind of point you in the direction about who you need to speak with. Sorry about that.
I'm sorry, I'll ask them.
Yeah, and generally, too, just to kind of jump in on that, Gene, on the posting platform links, when we activate the client, you would select like Facebook, and then you put the username and credentials to basically sync that page, or so that the posting platform can have access to posts. That's generally where that would get hooked up. So yeah, just talk with Dragon and Kyle and see if that was done originally when it got set up. Facebook, obviously, right? But the other one, you can choose one: LinkedIn, Pinterest, Google+, and usually that's handled on that posting platform integration, that form, if you know.
Yeah, posting platform, and then when you fill out the profile, yeah, sorry, Jeremy. So the posting platform is one of them, but on the profile questionnaire is where it's going to ask you for grant access to post on their behalf. So that's where you go and actually select the different networks. So you can look at the posting platform and see which ones you're connected to, and then if you're missing one or you need to add one, we can just do that manually too. That's not an issue. Just real quick too, just on that note, I just want to make a real quick comment about Google+. I know that it's a really dead social media network, but there's in the industry there's a term called link juice, and it has to do with links back to web pages. Google+ is the second highest outside of Facebook to the search engines themselves. Obviously, Google loves Google, which is why I made that comment earlier that you really should have all of them. You really have all of the networks that you can if it's affordable. But I always, in every situation, always recommend Google+, just because it has a link juice SEO factor to it. It's not huge, but it's still better than nothing, which is what most people have. So just keep that in mind.
Okay, thank you for bringing that up, Lee. So I know, Vince, you're on the phone. Is there anything that you want to add in? I know you came in a little bit late, but I know you obviously have a very large experience in all of this. So anything that you want to add in?
Yeah, just the farther we go along here, and when we first brought 99 Social in, we were learning a lot about them, but the experience with everyone has been great and phenomenal, and I just love. I think it really is a staple for every business, and like there's a lot of business that'll hire some people paying big money a month, where they, like you said, they'll come in and do a way better job. And Gene, to respond to you, we put Left and Sons on the growth plan. He might want to bump up to that enterprise plan, because that does reach into more of the LinkedIn and also Twitter, things like that. And he can also get some blog posting on his website, it looks like, too. So that could be a pretty powerful thing. So I have been very, very pleased with our relationship. I want to sell more of these. I think this is just a phenomenal deal for us. If you look at the price points, and then we even have a better deal, and then the commissions on top of it. So this is pretty exciting. So thank you, Lee. You did a good job.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Lee, very much. Vince, thank you for your comments. All of the questions that you guys brought today were phenomenal. For those of you that are listening to this recording or on live with us, we have had 99 Social on before. So if you locate the training tab in the marketplace, this is the other call that we had. So, like Lisa, I know that you're new to the Agora family. You had a lot of great questions. So, for example, we already have this other recording on here, so you might learn some from this recording. We will also put today's call in the training tab. And we just really wanted to get Lee and $99 Social back on the call today, because we are really focusing more on helping business owners with their social media. We've revamped some of our packages to feature 99 Social. You guys can see that on the enrollment page. We actually have a social starter package, as well as our power package, and both of those include 99 Social. And we didn't really talk about it much, but I'm going to bring it up really quick. We actually have we do have a price discount, about 5% off, as you guys have already seen. $99 is $94. But we're actually doing something even better in those starter packages, where they're actually getting half off the first month. So on any of those packages, the first month they actually pay $49.50, and then it would go to $94. Right now, our packages only have the core plan in there, so it's not $49.50 the first month for growth or enterprise. But those packages contain core, and that's $49.50 the first month, and then it goes to $94. So I just wanted to bring that up as well. I wasn't sure if many of you guys were aware that we're actually doing even a little bit better pricing offer if they get it by way of the package. If the client needs something more than the core, then we can work with you. Maybe they just need to kind of do things a la carte instead. If they need the growth or enterprise as opposed to core, maybe the package just isn't going to work for them because of the core. But I wanted to bring that up. Vince, did you want to say something?
No, you guys did a good job. That covers it.
Okay. Andy had a question. Last one is, Lee, are you open or available for people to contact you directly?
I am, absolutely. That was the next thing that I was going to do, is I was going to give you my direct contact information. So my direct phone number, this is my direct phone number, this is my cell phone. I normally don't give this out, but we've got a great relationship working together, and I just know that we're going to blossom and really make this something special. So you can call me or text me. My direct line is 480-420-6141, 480-420-6141. Now, if you want to email me, I'm going to give you my personal email as well. It's Lee, so L-E-E, at 99dollarsocial.com. Lee at 99dollarsocial.com. I'm on the phone quite a bit, as you can imagine. So if you call me or text me, that's fine. Just give me a minute. Usually I'm on the phone, but I'll always get back to you same day, or we can respond by text messages or email, and I'm happy to send you a link to my calendar where you can schedule a one-on-one coaching call with me, and we can discuss marketing strategy, pricing options, any kind of marketing ideas that you have that you want to run by me, just any questions in general. I'm more than happy to help. Believe me when I say this, if you're not successful, neither are we. So it is my job to ensure your success, and we're happy to do that here.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate you providing all your personal info. I think that's going to go a long way with many of our advisors. And then just last little comment there, and then we'll wrap up this call is, please make sure that you get over to me those marketing materials you're talking about. I'm really excited to get those added into the marketplace. And for everybody on the call and listening to the recording, we will have that in short order underneath this marketing tools tab that I'm highlighting on my screen now. So as soon as I get those, I will get those posted up in here, and then you guys can use the email templates Lee was talking about, all the handout, all of the materials and success paths that he's already used to sell, like he said, thousands of clients. So we'll get all of Lee's special marketing information in here that you guys can all utilize firsthand. And